Pastor Mary here, she's the same. And let me go back, Pastor Mary, and tell this story about when, yes, when Senator Barack Obama was elected to office. And at the time I worked for Senator Wyden, and we got plenty of calls from local folks, from folks out of the country. And the only way that you could get to this first inauguration of our first African-American president was to get tickets from your U.S. Senator or your Congressman. Right. And Pastor Mary called me, and she said, I need 4 tickets. I said, Pastor, I can't give you 4 tickets because you got to pick your tickets up in D.C. And we're only going to give tickets out to folks that we know will be in D.C. She said, I will be in D.C. if I have to walk to D.C. Now I need 4 of them tickets. Now we only had about 250 tickets. And so we had to be very selective about what we did and who we gave them to. We wanted to make sure the community, they had tickets and that they were able to come, because folks were talking about putting them on eBay and charging $2,500 to them. And so the president-elect said, no, senators, hold on to those tickets, make those folks come to D.C. And when they come to D.C., they have to get those tickets on Martin Luther King's birthday. That's right. They were lined up around the Hart Building. Yes, it was. And as I said, Pastor Mary is the same here as she is everywhere. Yes. She called me on the phone. I was there with my son. I was giving out the tickets. She called me on the phone. She said, Loretta, I can't get in because, you know, there's no parking space. I said, Pastor Mary, you're on Capitol Hill. She said, well, I'm riding around here, and she got a Cadillac. She got a Cadillac in Washington, D.C. And I said, okay. I said, well, wait a minute, Pastor. I said, because I'm right in the middle of this, but I'm going to send somebody downstairs. I said, because the nearest place that you can park is in Union Station. And so she said, yeah. I said, I don't want you to get no ticket. I said, just hold on, just keep circling the block. Now, when you say circle the block in D.C., you cannot circle the block. You have to circle this big, humongous block. And I just happened to see our former CEO of the Urban League, yes, Marcus Monday, and I said, Marcus, I said, go downstairs and find a Cadillac, that's Pastor Mary, and give her these tickets, please. He said, Pastor Mary, he said, is she going to be all right? I said, just find her. I said, go downstairs. You'll know who she is, because she'll be the one in the big Cadillac or Continental or whatever it is. But what Pastor Mary showed me was she kept her word. Yes. She kept her word. She said, I will be there. And I can tell you there were many who did not keep their word. They saw the sizzle and there was no steak, but not with Pastor Mary. She showed up. And she showed up for this community over the years. And I can remember when she was on the radio one morning and she said, I'm going down and I'm going to sell my house, my vacation home. Now, how many of us had a vacation home? I didn't even know you had a vacation home.
Winter home.
Your winter home. She was a snow bunny. So she said, I'm going to sell my home and I'm going to help these folks from Katrina. And I listened to her on the radio as I was going into work that morning. And I said, she is not someone who is just talking about it. She is really about it. She got on the plane. She sold that house, I think it was in 24 hours, didn't you? Or
23 hours, 10 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. And she brought that money back to help those folks who needed it. She has always been the one in the community that we could depend on to help those vulnerable populations and those folks in our community. When she saw a need for folks to have, before Obamacare, there was Mary Care. That's right. Because what Pastor Mary did up the street about a block away, she made provisions for folks in this community who was uninsured to make sure that they had a place to go. She partnered with Dr. Ginsburg and made sure that our community, our kids, our struggling families, those folks who didn't have resources, that they had an opportunity to see a doctor on a Wednesday night. I really appreciate you, Pastor Mary. You have showed us how to do it and how to do it with great style. And I so appreciate you, and I appreciate your willingness to be the same all the time.